back to Paradise After Dark, the unofficial Bachelor in Paradise after show, coming to you live after the show. And give it up for Jackie, everybody.
Oh my God, thank you. Guys, please stop. You're too much. You're too much. You're too much. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I love when Bachelor in Paradise is good.
And
I'm
it
so excited to
was.
talk about it.
I
It really
know.
was. Super
Yes.
good.
So we're going to recap episode 7, but first I think we need to step into the creep corner because there's stuff that's
Totally
gone
agreed.
on. If you were watching on YouTube, you may not be aware of the fact that we have audio only episodes. So make sure that you're also subscribed to She's All Batch on an audio platform like Apple or Spotify, because our last sound off episode was all about Clayton and Rachel on the perfect match and all the backlash that Clayton received. And our first creep story is about Clayton's response to the backlash.
I know. Of course, as soon as we post that episode, like I think Clayton went on the Viall files literally later that day. It was released, and we just like really can't win.
It's fine. But now
It's
we
fine.
get to
No,
creep on it
it's
now.
totally fine. And now we can respond. Right. So we can cover like Rachel's point of view in the last sound off, and now we can cover Clayton's
Right.
in this episode. Although, I don't know, did you listen to it? I don't think Clayton defended himself very well, and I'm still angry at him. Sorry, Clayton. I love you, but like, come on.
Come on now.
Come on now.
Come on now.
First of all, so he went on the Viall files and also Dear Shandy. So I watched both and I got two different
Okay.
perspectives.
How was the Dear Shandy one? I actually didn't see that one.
I feel like they were kinder to him. I actually had
Fair.
I think Nick and Natalie do a good job at interviewing people. There's something that rubs me the wrong way when Nick critiques another man's behavior given Nick's reputation. In the stuff that he's done in his past, he comes off so condescending that it was just weird watching him almost like belittle Clayton for his behavior when Nick has done just the same.
But has Nick done just the same
I
to
mean,
girls?
His past is controversial. I mean, he outed Andy for
Sure. No,
sleeping
he
with him, and like
definitely-
that's how we like were introduced to Nick, was the villain on Andy season, and that moment on TV. Like it just to me, it
Yeah, but I
feels
actually
weird.
understand that moment more than I understand Clayton's behavior, which we'll get into. Because I really think when Nick was doing that, it really came from a place of genuine like confusion and hurt. I don't think he was trying to expose Andy or like get back at her. And I don't think Clayton intended to hurt Rachel either. But I think Clayton has a history of just not being aware of like the weight of his words and
Yeah.
how his actions affect other people. And it's just really frustrating that like it seems with as much work that he's clearly done on himself, he's like still not quite there yet.
I will say his defense did provide me with some clarity. He did make some good points. Like when he was like,
Like what?
I mean, it was one day on The Perfect Match versus an entire season with Rachel on The Bachelor. He's like, I had no idea her feelings were that strong to have that much of a response the following day. He's like, that's not what I was expecting. I thought she was going to be okay with it. And he's like, given on The Bachelor, I'm dating you for 2 months. We're exchanging a lot. Serious talks, being intimate. Like that's not what they had here. So actually hearing his take, I was like, yeah, I can kind of see if you genuinely didn't think she had strong feelings for you. It is one day.
Sure, it's fine if he didn't think that that would be as strong of a reaction, but the fact of the matter is it clearly was. And I think maybe he should have taken into consideration the fact that it's not just one day though, right? Like this is years and years and years of their relationship, and they clearly had something legitimate and real. And so he doesn't know how she's processed that over the years. And maybe she has like lingering feelings and what ifs and feels like, oh, the one that got away type situations. So I don't really think that's a good defense, because I think he should have been considerate that like, sure, it might just be one day for him, but like he doesn't know how she's feeling. There's more of a history here. She wasn't a stranger. If she was just a stranger that he met on The Perfect Match and was like, okay, we were together for one day and then I picked someone else, I would understand that.
Yeah.
But like, he has a history with this person. It's not just one day.
And I'm not saying his defense totally swayed me. I felt his side of the story like just painted the picture a little bit better, because at first we were like, what the hell is going on? This doesn't even make sense why you did the things you did. And hearing his take, I was like, all right. He also said he had the strongest connection with Rachel out of all the other potentials, like the other girl, Juliet from Siesta Key, who he ended up matching with after the fact, I think. He's like, I didn't have a strong connection with her. So like out of everyone there, Rachel was the strongest person. She is who I wanted to match with. It just so happened that it didn't end up working out. He did say
But
that, like,
why?
well,
Like,
he alludes to why and then doesn't say it. And it's just so mysterious. He's like, there's just stuff I realized behind closed doors in the fantasy suite
mhm.
that made me realize that we weren't going to be compatible and like lifestyles, this wouldn't work. But no one knows what that
Right, but he
means.
didn't learn that. He didn't learn that that night on the perfect match, right?
He's saying he did. Like they are different
So he
people.
knew nothing about
Yeah.
whatever he's mysterious thing he's talking about, and
Mm.
then one conversation with Rachel overnight totally changed his entire opinion of her.
That's
I
a good
think he would
point.
probably been feeling that like before,
That's a good
in which case like
point.
consider your
Because
actions
like
before
any
matching.
major thing about her personality or her lifestyle or whatever, you probably would have already known given the fact that you almost proposed
Yeah.
to her a few years ago. I maybe he's like, it's 3 years later, we're new people, we've grown. I wanted to get to know
Mhm.
her again. I mean, if you're rehashing with someone you haven't talked to in 3 years, you may learn new things.
Sure. And maybe he thought that like she had grown in the direction that he wanted her to be more. And it's kind of hard to like dissect this when we
Because we have
don't know
no
what he's
clue.
actually
Yeah.
talking about.
He also said he doesn't want to tell Rachel because she'll feel like she's being attacked.
Yeah, Nick kind of alluded to it, I think, once they hung up, that he was kind of reading it as like Rachel is still very much like in LA and doing the influencer thing and is very much focused on her business and building her brand. And Clayton is more of like in Arizona trying to really settle down and have a family. And in which case, yeah, then their lifestyles are
Yeah.
very conflicting. They have different priorities at this time. But it's like you didn't just learn that about Rachel that night. Like Rachel has lived in LA this whole time and has been pursuing her
Yeah.
career. So like
I mean,
that, so I find that hard to believe. But if I'm trying to think of like something that someone wouldn't receive well, I wonder if it's like feelings just like about like her or her lifestyle or her values, or I don't know. But I don't think any of that would have been brand new information. So I
right.
really don't get
That
it.
doesn't really, it doesn't add up.
I know.
But he did say, like what we were talking about in Sound Off, that the second he realized that he felt this way, that he didn't feel compatible with her, he wanted to end it soon so that she can go on and meet someone new. And then he did set her up on another date the following episode.
Mhm.
So he was trying to do the right thing.
I'm just like not buying it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he
Like
just keeps harping on like
there's just
her
no
reaction.
accountability.
I know. And it's like her reaction to what you did though, but his
Right. And it's like,
defense
and
is the
it's not his
reaction.
place to decide what her reaction should be. It's not his place to decide how her feelings should be for him.
Yeah.
That's her feelings. She's had feelings for you. You knew that back when you guys dated on The Bachelor. So for him to just be like, oh, I didn't realize she still had those feelings. It's like, well, maybe you should have considered someone else's feelings before you play with someone's heart like that. It's so, I don't think he's trying to be selfish or like self-centered, but it is. He's only thinking about how this affects him. He's not thinking, hey, how would Rachel feel if I kind of like put this olive branch out there and tried to make amends? He's not considering how strong her feelings were. And I don't understand with all of his work that he's done on himself, how he can still not
Yeah.
be considering how his actions affect other people.
It is bizarre when you put it that way, that he
Yeah.
really he's so focused on the work and doing everything to
Yeah.
better
It's like, you
himself.
got to do some more,
I
dude.
think we got to do some more introspective work and you'll get there.
The only thing I can think of to maybe explain this, and I don't think this makes it right, but we know Clayton is a people pleaser. I think he would describe himself as a recovering people pleaser in a lot of the work
He
that he's
literally
talked
did
about.
in Dear Shandy, I think.
Yeah, and so the only explanation that I can kind of put to this is that production pushed him to match with Rachel. I think he was maybe like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, do it. But don't you think you guys are here for a reason? Like, it's fate, blah, blah, blah. And he pushed him. But deep in his soul, he knew he wasn't really like supposed to be with Rachel and didn't want to be with Rachel, but he was pushed. And then as soon as like he slept on it, he was like, you know what? This isn't fair. This isn't right. Like, this isn't genuinely what I want to do in my heart. So he just kind of like fell victim to the people pleasing for a minute and then tried to correct it. But at that point, it's too late.
They ask him about that on Dear Shandy, though. So I would agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, do you think that like you felt pressured by production or you felt that this is what America wanted you to do or
Right.
anything involving production? Obviously, you two are cast on the show for a reason. This wasn't coincidental.
Yeah.
So do you feel that like maybe you felt pressured by production? And he's like, not at all, because even if I felt pressured by production, I was still going to only do what made sense for me and what I want to do. And he's like, and I genuinely
But you think
wanted,
that's the truth?
I do, just because like I don't get at this
I
point
think they
why he
have
would
an
lie.
ironclad contract because he has a contract and can't say production forced me to do this. In the same way that, like, if on The Bachelor, I don't think they would maybe admit to that. Even though we've gotten people to admit similar things on this show, I
Yeah.
think that is a contract violation to say, yeah, production kind of pushed me into it.
Yeah.
And I could imagine Netflix maybe being more strict with that. Or him
Perhaps.
wanting to remain in good graces with Netflix because it's much
Right.
more powerful than ABC.
And lucrative, I think.
No, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a better gig to
Right.
be on Netflix for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can only know what he is willing to share. And it was nice to get his side of the story, though, just to like at
Sure.
least see where he was coming from.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I was excited to hear from him. I mean, like, it got us to click. Like, I don't typically listen to Viall Files unless there's something very specific that I want to listen to. And
Yeah.
this did get me to click because I wanted to hear what he had to say. But my opinion is that I was kind of like let down by what he said. And I still don't really understand. But again, guys, like, don't go hate on people. It doesn't make Clayton a bad person.
Yeah.
He's a work in progress. He's learning. He's
Oh,
growing.
wait, something
He's
he-
been through enough. Like, leave him alone.
He revealed that he unfollowed Rachel, though. It was after Nick's interview with her. He unfollowed her because there was a moment
I think he was really unhappy.
He said that they made amends at the end of Perfect Match and they were totally fine. And then he saw like scenes of her from the show, like hamming it up after the fact. So and like, again, that could also be production trying to be like, put yourself back in that moment. Like, remember how you felt. So it's kind of hard to knock her in that sense. But from his perspective, he's like, I'm thinking we're cool. Like, we totally made amends. We're totally fine. And she's kind of keeping this narrative going that she was so heartbroken when she wasn't in real life. So that's just his take. And
but, like,
he
of course
unfollowed her
she is.
for
And
that.
maybe that goes back to their incompatibilities. Like, of course she is. Like, she's on a TV show and this is her storyline. And now she's doing press for it. Of course she's going to bring herself back to that moment. And like, maybe, like, I think probably now she's like over it and not continuing to like cry about it. But, you know, people are watching and experiencing the show for the first time. She's going to go on all these podcasts and ham it up and share her story and lean in. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I could see, based on Clayton's like previous behavior and how he reacts to things, why he would like take that personally and unfollow her.
Yeah. He
like, look how he reacted
like a
to the
knee-jerk
Gabby
reaction.
stuff too.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't he's very impulsive, I would say.
And I think truly very sensitive, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to another couple because I am so confused. Over the weekend, I saw a post. It was a shared post between Leslie and Gary from Bachelor in Paradise, and seemingly a hard launch. It was them together, and it's a video of them on a boat. It says, making new memories with a rose emoji and sparkle emoji in a beautiful place, Lake Tahoe, for a golden bachelorette and golden bachelor. And they're hugging in the video. They're being really cutesy. And at first, I didn't think it was a hard launch until I saw all the comments. And all the comments, people from the show, like I believe Kat Izzo was in the comment section, were like, yeah, like, love this, so cute. And I'm like, oh, is this a hard launch? So
Yeah.
I wanted to cover the hard launch in the Creep Corner. So I go to their pages today and I'm like, did I dream this up? Like, where is this post? And they deleted it, which is even crazier, makes it an even better creep story. Why did they delete it?
Yeah.
I think that they hung out in real life and posted together and wanted to show people like, hey, look, we're hanging out, we're posting together. And people interpreted it to be a hard launch, and they don't want that because they're not really dating. That's my take. Because why else would you delete?
But why wouldn't they just like say that? Like,
I don't
they
know.
could post one of them could post one of their stories and be like, "Hey guys, you know, just kind of wanted to clarify. Me and Gary are continuing to stay great friends, and I love hanging out with him. But it's not a romantic connection. But like, love Gary." Wait, did you go onto the She's All About Facebook page recently?
Oh, I don't
because
think
someone
so.
just posted that they thought maybe Teresa was dating Gary.
Oh, no, I
And
didn't.
that would add a whole new color to this situation.
What?
Could you imagine?
We're all
like,
just
Leslie
sharing different
losing
Garys.
2 Garys to Teresa? That's crazy.
Right.
Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up. Actually, I don't think I have Facebook on my phone. Let me see. Oh, I'm on airplane mode.
Oh, don't worry. Don't do it then. Oh, I'm on airplane mode.
Okay. But someone said that.
Someone DM'd me about that. I haven't looked in the Facebook group though, but I don't think that's true either. But I guess we'll see. I really don't know. I will say the song choice for the video that they jointly shared together was I really don't want to sing it. It's like a 90s song. I went to go Google it, but I'm on airplane mode. But
I'll sing it.
what's it gonna be? 'Cause I can't pretend. Don't you wanna be more than friends? Hold me tight and don't let go. You know that song?
Okay. It's saying more than I do.
That's
yeah. I don't really know the words, but I'm familiar.
When I heard
It's saying
it,
more
I
than
was
friends,
like,
though.
Like, I can't pretend. Don't you want to be more than friends? I'm like, okay, that's an interesting song choice. So like, I don't blame people for thinking it was a hard launch, but then what happened? And now it's just gone. And I
I
really
don't know.
thought I was like high when I looked, and I'm like, did I dream this up?
Yeah.
But
That's
it's not,
crazy.
it
Well,
wasn't a
maybe, but
dream.
maybe something happened and there was like a falling out while they were in Tahoe. I have no clue.
There's no way anyone could have a falling out with Gary. Like, come on.
No, there's a way. People show different sides of themselves
Mm.
when in closed doors. Like we
Just
don't
ask
know. Like
Clayton.
Gary seems great on the show, but like we don't know. There could have been
Sure.
a falling
No,
out.
I mean, I'm teasing. I don't actually know him, but
No,
he
I
just seems
know.
like impossible to fight with. But yeah,
No, he
no,
seems like such a
definitely
sweet man.
bizarre to post something like that and delete it. But you know what, guys? Because we're creeping on it, I am confident we'll get an answer tomorrow. And I'm not updating
Yes, right
this.
as soon as we hit
I'm
publish.
not going to update this. So just know that if there is an update, we've probably seen it and we just didn't want to add it
Yeah.
in. So we'll talk about it later.
That's fine. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
an urgent issue, but I'm
totally.
curious what the reason is, and I'm sure we'll get some type of answer, especially if he's dating Teresa. We should know.
I know. I don't know where they came up with that or like what their proof was. I think someone saw a picture or something. That would be insane.
That would be
Because also, like
insane.
Teresa and Leslie have become friends now. That would just be
Well,
messy,
Teresa and
messy,
Leslie
messy.
consider each other like best friends, but you know, Teresa
I know.
does, what is it? The reverse cowgirl? Like she does it like no other. So
I think someone even commented in the Facebook group, like, "Oh, what was it? The long sleeve bathing suit that really
probably.
like got Gary like into her."
Yeah, I'm
Probably.
not surprised. Teresa has a way with the Golden Garys, so it makes sense.
It's true.
Okay.
Of course.
Last thing I want to bring up in the creep corner, Allyshia went on Bachelor Happy Hour and she talked about her connection with Dale. Earmuffs Cat, she basically said that they would have matched had she been like original cast. She's confident she would have matched with Dale because she has more in common with him than he and Kat did. And the way she phrased it, I was like, I mean, we don't know for sure who's together, who leaves together, and even if they left together, are they still together? The way Ali Shai is talking
Yeah.
about them, it's as if they are past tense. And I don't know if she's just talking that way because she's
Mm.
talking about the show. I do have a clip, but she says that once she got there, the show turned to the competitive switch. So she's like, it was in my best interest to team up with someone like Sean, who I knew was going to give me his
Yeah.
rose no matter what, versus
Right.
pest it with Dale when he also had another connection with Kat. But she was like confident that had it not turned competitive, she would have been ended up with Dale. Which is like,
Hmm.
how do you know that?
Okay.
And just like Dale
Yeah,
being
I'm
like,
curious to hear the
remember,
clip because, like, who's to say?
but remember when Dale was like Ali Shia has it all together and she has this and
Yeah.
Kat doesn't have that. And we're like, Dale, how do you know that? I feel like something's gonna
Right.
come out that these two talked before.
Or maybe they just had more conversations like on the beach that didn't make the edit for one reason or another. And if Kat and Dale end up together on the show, then I could understand why they would cut out some of those stronger scenes with Ali Shia to kind of push the Kat and Dale narrative.
Well,
So
Zoe said
I
in a
don't know.
comment section that she and Dale connected a lot and they cut it out and made Zoe look like she was making the connection up. So
Yeah,
I
I
could
could see
see that
that.
happening. But they love making Dale look bad. So I don't know why they would cut it. Here's the
Yeah,
clip.
to protect the couples. But
Yeah,
yeah, okay, let's hear the clip.
here's the clip.
I would have continued to pursue Dale and like get to know him more. And I think to answer your question in short, because of the way the show turned into a competition at that point, I don't think it was ever going to progress because both Dale and I at that were kind of everybody was
Yeah,
drawn to their partners. But it was a very different experience than I thought it would be, like going on a game
definitely.
show versus a dating show. And I do think that had I come in day one, or day two, like earlier days, I do think that I like Dale and I probably would have ended up be coupled up. I think we did have a lot more in common than him and Kat did.
It's the past tense that makes me wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have more in common than he and Kat do. Would make more sense than he and Kat did. It feels like
Mm,
it's over. And now I'm starting to be open to the fact that Kat and Dale may have left the show together, but I'm not sure they're together.
yeah, I
And
mean, I don't know. I could also read it as just like to play devil's advocate. Ali Shai is saying more than him and Kat did But now that they've like spent all this time together on the show and they have more shared experiences, like they clearly obviously have more in common because they're choosing each other versus like initially up front, right? Because like your connection grows with someone as you like progress.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if Kat and Dale aren't together anymore based on some of the things that he said and done over the course of this show.
Yeah.
So that Kat wasn't privy to when she was on the beach.
Right.
So
Totally. And I stand by the fact that Allyshia is like Claire's long lost sister. So she's definitely
okay, but he
his
didn't
type.
like Claire. So
he-
I will stand by he never I will die on this hill. I think he never liked Claire. He just didn't want to be seen as like the biggest jerk in America. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
It's my opinion.
That's my opinion. I feel like only I would come for you because I'm like a Claire apologist. I love her.
I like Claire too. I think she deserved better. So
Same. Yeah.
But
like Jason Foster. That's the hill I'll die on, is that Claire deserved a man like Jason Foster.
is Claire with someone now? She's married now, right?
Yeah, and has a baby.
Okay, she has a baby.
No,
So she had a baby. I wasn't sure if she was still with
yeah, she is. So she's on to bigger and better things.
Sound off in the comments below. What do you guys think about Claire and Dale? I'm just curious what the general consensus is. Okay, so this coming weekend is actually my brother's wedding, and you can bet your bottom dollar that I am 100% wearing Honey Love shapewear under my bridesmaid's dress. I literally love their shapewear so much. Absolutely nothing makes me feel more snatched and just feeling good in my own skin. But they don't just have shapewear. They also have the most amazing and most comfortable cutting edge bras. Honey Love's cutting edge bra collection keeps you cool, comfortable, and supported all season long. And if you're tired of bras that cause bulging in the back, Honey Love's bras are designed with back smoothing fabric to prevent that bra bulge. So you guys can check out their V-neck bra for a totally smooth fit under clothing. It offers support of a traditional bra without the uncomfortable underwire, and it has molded cups that are designed to lift and separate. So it's not like a shelf-like bra that gives you that uni boob effect, because we definitely don't want that. Treat yourself to the most comfortable and innovative bras on earth and save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/she'sallbatch20. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off, honeylove.com/she'sallbatch20. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard in bras with Honey Love. So I was actually at the dermatologist last week, and she let me in on a skincare secret that she tells all of her clients. Ditch the cotton pillowcases for Blissy Silk, and you'll see less fine lines and healthier hair in literally just weeks. And don't we all want healthier, shinier hair and less fine lines all over our face? Duh, of course. Blissy was actually voted the best gift of the year for 2024, and I totally know why. I love them so much. Blissy pillowcases have anti-aging properties. They reduce fine lines and wrinkles over time. And for your hair, they eliminate frizz, preserve hairstyles, and protect color-treated hair. Also, Blissy pillowcases are super easy to care for. They're machine washable. And I don't buy anything that's not machine washable these days. I just like literally who has the time. They have over 99 colors, including a Wicked line and a Harry Potter line. So you can find a pillowcase for the entire family. And because you guys are She's All Batch listeners, Blissy is offering 60 nights risk-free plus an additional 30% off when you shop at blissy.com/batch30. That's BACH30. That's Blissy, BLISSY.com/batch30, and use code batch30 to get an additional 30% off. Your skin and hair will thank you.
And I think we're just about ready to get out of this corner and start recapping episode 7, because I very much enjoyed this episode. Now we're in the competitive element, and I'm like, okay, I'm in.
I know it's become so much less about the romance, but I like it. I love the strategy. I love the gameplay. It's so fun to watch.
Right. The only thing I didn't love, so we have this secret rendezvous game, which the concept of the game I liked, but then when they tried to mix and match like the people that you connected with in the secret rendezvous game, no one entertained it for a second. I'm trying to think of who was even an example. Oh, Brian and Bailey. And they just come out and they're like, oh, it's crazy to see you here. And like no one's considering actually being with someone else, which bothers me. I kind of wish they would.
However, though, it made me feel like they're not manipulating the game. And then I genuinely have more trust in the show, because when Allyshia first went out, I was like, oh my God, if it's Dale who walks out, there's no way that I believe that would have been true. Like that's obviously producer manipulation. And then I would have like not believed the game anymore, but it was Andrew who walked out. So then I was like, oh, because that would have been a perfect opportunity to continue to stir this pot. And the fact that they didn't means that they're at least honoring what the game is actually doing and they're not faking it.
Yeah, I can see
So I
that.
appreciated that. Wait, before we get into the rendezvous though, can we talk about how everyone's a creature in the opening?
Yes, go ahead.
That was so weird.
I
You have no thoughts on it?
no, I fast.
It was so weird. Why did they do that?
Wait, I fast forwarded.
Everyone was an animal besides Faith.
Wait, why?
Did you fast forward
I
it?
did. I was like, I
Nobody knows. Wait, this is funny. Keep it in.
Okay.
No, I don't know why. It just so it was like almost paradise, and it was like Jeremy, and it was like a bird, and then it would be like Bailey, a bird, Kim. Actually, Faith was herself, and Kim was the horse. Andrew, a sloth, and someone, a lizard. Like everyone was just an animal. No one had their actual videos in the intro.
Those ABC producers, they're crazy. They're kooky. They have no
But I'm
explanation.
just like, why?
But literally why? Literally why?
Literally why? This is the biggest use case of literally why ever in She's All Batch lore. Literally why?
That's really funny because, okay, guys, when we recap, when we watch the show, it's entertaining. This episode especially was entertaining for me.
Yeah.
But when I have to stay alert, I have to stop and take notes. There's photos that I may need to get for our YouTube video. I can't just relax and enjoy it. So yeah, when I saw that it was the intro, I'm like, okay, when does the episode start? And I did fast forward. I'm so sorry. I'm never going to do that. No, to you guys at home. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. It did cross my mind. I was like, should I watch the intros? And I'm like, no, it's going to be the same thing because it has been. They haven't changed it a ton.
They really threw a curveball.
Question then, was Alex and Bailey animals together?
Yes, I think so.
Why?
Actually,
that's literally
I don't
why.
know. They were like two. I think they were two birds. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I didn't memorize what every single person was, but I think it was so weird. I don't maybe they like just forgot to do the videos that day because we've seen the videos change as they've been there over time. So I wonder if they just were like, oh shoot, we never got videos of day 16. I guess we'll just put animals in, except for Faith, who can be herself. And
so
Kim will be
weird.
the horse. It was so weird. Sorry to sidetrack us. We can go back to the rendezvous
back to
now.
the rendezvous game. So basically, if you don't know, which would be weird if you're even watching this that you don't know, they asked you a series of questions. You have to hold up your answer, and if you match 5 times with someone like anyone else that's playing, you meet in this like secret rendezvous room.
Yeah, I think the idea was that you could go on like a date later that night, but no one would know that you were exploring another connection.
May I ask though, how would that even be possible? Like no one did it, but how wouldn't they be like, hey, where's Bailey? Where's Brian?
Probably yes, gone. But isn't that good for drama, right?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be like, wait, oh my god, did someone take the secret rendezvous? Wait, oh my god, Brian and Bailey, where are they? And then because they obviously want this to happen, but then they also want the people to know that it happened for the drama. Like they don't actually want to protect these people's secrets,
right? And if they did, I'm sure they could always just tell the cast like, oh, Bailey's is in interviews, like we have her.
Like, who knows? Or like is sleeping. Like when all that drama was going on, which we'll get to, like Jeremy was just sleeping the whole time, and I'm like, they're all at the bar, and Jeremy, you're asleep. Like why?
But like, how is he allowed to go to sleep?
Right? No, exactly. I would have thought it's like you guys are filming from this time to this time. It must have been so late at night.
I could see that was a little treat. I mean, we've heard from interviewing over 100 people on the show that it's like, you scratch our backs, we'll scratch yours. I'm sure Jeremy's like, can I go take a nap? And they're like, you know what, Jeremy? Yes, you go take a nap, because they know it's better for him that he's not there stopping what happened. Like he could have intervened had he been awake.
Yeah, maybe
him sleeping actually helped. So I can see that being a producer's work. Good job. But the rendezvous game, Jonathan and Leia win, proving that you don't actually have to have a connection with someone to win this game.
I know. I wish he was more open to her, because they clearly have things in common. I don't know why he's like, I mean, Leia said he's just clearly emotionally unavailable. I don't think it's that he like doesn't care for her, but it's like he's not willing to go there emotionally. And I just wish he would, because like, give it a chance. What do you have to lose?
And there are still some people that think that he may be considered for The Bachelor. And I can't stress enough how this behavior is so not what The Bachelor is supposed to be. Like you're supposed to be open to connections and not friend zone everyone. And we covered his reason for friend zoning everyone in our last Sound Off episode. We want to see The Bachelor explore, and he's just not exploring. He's faking it, and it's annoying.
Yeah. No, it is weird. I don't think he has any chance of being Bachelor now.
Yeah. Brian and Bailey, they don't win
And
Secret
Bailey,
Rendezvous,
yeah.
but they do. What would it be called?
They
Like
match.
they match in Secret
They
Rendezvous.
match, yeah, because they had, I guess, all 5 of the same answers.
So
Yeah.
Brian decides to send Bailey a note. Bailey, the first night at bed, Ron made out with 2
Yeah,
girls
literally.
and put his head in between a cocktail waitress's breasts. Boing. No, he sent her a note, and I thought it was funny when Bailey's like, "Oh, I got a note from someone," and Paris's like, "But is it Brian? But is it Brian? I need to know if it's Brian." It's like, Parisa, like, just dump the guy. Just dump you. No man should
I
be
know.
making you this stress. Like, dump him.
I know. I
Ugh.
kind of clocked that too. Even at the beginning of this episode, I was like, "Oh!" And now all of a sudden, Brian and Parisa are like perfect and fine again?
Yeah.
Question mark.
No, they're not.
And I think the fact that like Parisa was suspicious that it could potentially be Brian says all you need to know, right?
Right.
Like the heart knows deep down. And I also thought watching it, although I knew like the Susie thing would probably still come up, I don't know if Brian was also trying to be like a little bit slimy. I wouldn't put it past him. So I think that just like shows the type of connection him and Parisa clearly have. It's not that strong.
Yeah. So Brian has the conversation with Bailey while Jeremy is fast asleep. He sits down with Bailey and tells her that everything that Jeremy said he would propose to Susie on the spot if she came back. He called her. He regretted his
Yeah.
decision, giving you the rose. And Bailey like breaks down crying. I thought it was kind of crazy when Bailey goes back to her room and she vents to Alex that like Alex wasn't accused more as to why she didn't tell her. Like her
Yeah.
reasoning and even Kat's reasoning. She's like, "Oh, I thought he was going to." And they kind of like came up with excuses as to why they didn't tell their girlfriend. We talked a lot about bro code this episode. What about girl code? Like where were the girls
I know.
rallying behind her?
I know it was really confusing to me how by the end of this, like Brian turned out to be the bad guy when he was the only person like actually considering Bailey when all of these other people knew. And I think the most hurtful thing that he said to her was that, yeah, half of this like group already knows this information. So all of you know this behind Bailey's back and none of you wanted to say anything. And then somehow it's all Brian's fault. What? Wells was the only one making sense when he totally called that all out in an ITM. I don't understand
The voice of
how
reason.
that's going down.
There are so many parallels to Ron and Sam getting the note. Now that I think about it, because everyone in the house knew
Yeah.
that Ron cheated on her and her best friends didn't tell her. Wow. It's crazy how it all comes full circle.
I know. And I wonder if it's like what? I mean, I think in Alex's case, like she even said, like she actually feels like she has a stronger friendship with Jeremy, which is weird because her and Bailey seem to be like attached at the hip.
Why do you have
like always doing their
intros
little
with
photos
her
every
if she's
single
not your
morning?
best
Yeah.
friend? Yeah, no, that's
Right.
weird.
But I wonder if like was that the excuse for the rest of the cast too? Because they're either one better friends with Jeremy, or I think it might be more of this that like we know and love Bailey now because we've seen so much of her on this season, but coming off of their respective seasons, Jeremy had a lot more like Bachelor Nation clout because he made it further on his season than Bailey, who like maybe only made it halfway through Grand Season. So I wonder if people are just like being calculated and protecting the more popular person because they don't know that like Bailey's going to pop off after the season.
Right
now,
now,
she obviously
Bailey surpassed
is
Jeremy,
now.
so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, literally.
I thought
I
it
know,
was-
but at that moment,
Right. They don't know. I thought it was funny when Bailey confronted Jeremy in bed. He said, "At the time, I was just playing paradise," when he called Susie, which I thought was interesting wording. But then he says he didn't say the proposal thing. Like she's like, "Oh,
which he literally did.
He literally
right?
no, he literally did. It was on camera. I have a
Okay,
screenshot
yeah, roll
of
the
it.
tapes.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
thank
so
you.
it is when remember he mouths it though. He mouths it to Brian. So I'm sure Jeremy thinks like, "Oh, they don't have audio of me saying that," because they probably don't. But he is in the room and it's the words on screen. So I
Yeah,
mean, you said
okay.
it, and now Bailey knows. By this point, she knows that you did say it and you lied when you said that.
Is there a world though where he didn't actually say that, and that's just the words they put on the screen,
I
so
don't
that it
think
could
so.
fuel this storyline and make him look worse?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not trying to like overly defend him, and I do think like I mean, whether he literally said those words or not, like the gist is still the same, and what he did with Susie is still like I think the same impact of hurt for Bailey. So it kind of doesn't matter, but. I'm wondering if the semantics were manipulated in that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll never know. We didn't see his mouth say it, is all I'm saying.
Someone else who lied, even though I don't think Brian's in the wrong this episode. It's like the one thing you did right. But Brian full-blown lies to Jeremy when Jeremy confronts him and says Bailey came to him and said, I have it written down. I wrote, I did like a Jackie style note. I wrote, whoa, Brian has a talk with Jeremy and says, Bailey brought up Susie, full caps. What if I see something back on TV? What the F? He positions it to Jeremy that Bailey was like, you know, you have to tell me, like, what if I see something on TV? It's going to ruin everything. Like, you have to tell me. And like, bro, that's not what happened. You confronted her. You sent her a letter to talk with her.
But I understand why Brian would lie in this situation because he's trying to protect himself from getting voted off.
Right.
So that at least makes sense. The other ones.
What was the rules in this episode again?
They vote on who doesn't get a rose.
Oh, right.
So
Everyone
they
voted
Kim instead of Brian. Right.
Right. So that makes sense for Brian to lie because he doesn't want Jeremy to be mad at him.
That's what I'm saying. I at least understand Brian's motivation for lying. But these other actions, like, I mean, I guess like I understand Jeremy lying too because he doesn't want Bailey to be mad at him. But I think that is going to come back to bite him more down the line when Bailey actually sees the footage back versus like Brian could watch it back and be like, yeah, of course I lied because like we were playing a game, dude. Like,
right.
Duh. Whereas like Jeremy's lying to Bailey's heart, to her heart. It's different.
And it's not fair.
I just got back from the beach today before we recorded this episode. Maybe you guys can tell I definitely got a little bit of color and a little bit of sunburn, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just really trying to soak up every last bit of summer. And if you guys are looking to do the same, you can capture sun-drenched memories with the Orange Vanilla Cream Hydration Multiplier from Liquid IV. This nostalgic vanilla flavor has notes of candied orange that can keep you hydrated better than water alone. And I don't know about you guys, when I think of summer, I think of like orange vanilla, creamsicle, ice cream truck vibes. And this flavor from Liquid IV totally gives that. Basically how it works is with just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water, you're hydrated better than water alone. Liquid IV is powered by LIV Hydroscience, which is an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and its clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. Liquid IV has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, and it's always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. I also really love their firecracker popsicle flavor. That one really brings me back to like a 4th of July on the beach. I have been drinking it all summer long. So savor the last bits of summer with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code SHE'SALLBATCH at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code SHE'SALLBATCH at liquidiv.com.
What another thing I really didn't like was how all of the men in this house like collectively agreed that Brian was the bad one for outing Jeremy and saying, Andrew Spencer saying, oh, you don't have bro code. How can I trust you? He was the only one with balls to tell Bailey what her man's doing to him.
I know.
The whole scene.
Ridiculous.
Dale was like up in arms that Brian would dare betray Jeremy when no one cares that everyone's been betraying Bailey. Like that was wild to watch. And they all justified it.
I know. It makes me wonder what all these other boys are saying to each other that they're like worried about getting out because of bro code.
Yeah.
Wells was the only voice of reason in that situation. Like when he popped off in that ITM, I was like, thank you. Finally, I never agree with Wells. I actually find him annoying usually and not relevant to the screen at all. But this time I was like, you know what? Yeah.
No, you
have something to say, Wells, and the people need to hear it.
He took the thoughts out of my brain. Speaking of Wells, did you notice Hannah had all of 5 seconds of screen time this episode? And I was like, wow, there you go, Hannah. Way to get some screen time. I wrote it down. Have you had a rough night? She said it to her. I think she said it to Brian. That's what they showed.
Okay.
And I have a screenshot of her and I'll put it in the YouTube video. But like, it's like, yay, Hannah, like how much money did they spend for you to be in this episode?
I was about to say, I hope she was paid handsomely for her time, regardless of whatever.
But it's just crazy
it is
to
kind
me
of interesting
that they just like don't care to utilize her more. Like, and I find that she doesn't necessarily fit in. Like, she's not needed. Everyone's driving the drama themselves. Like, it's still so random
really
to me
random
that she's doing this. I can't get into it again.
I think they just thought that like because she has such a huge following and people love her so much that it would entice people to tune into the show.
That's just dumb.
But
that's
just,
men
like,
in
classic
suits.
like. No, I was literally about to say it's just classic old school men in a conference room not understanding like why we actually watch television, which is crazy because that's like their one job is to know that.
And
that one little detail.
I said this when she was first announced as like the champagne pourer or whatever she is.
Which we have not seen other than her just like casually carrying glasses of champagne. Where's the champagne bubble room? I want our cruise-esque champagne bubble room.
Right.
We were promised that, and I want it.
What I said, though, when she was initially announced is like, people love Hannah Brown. She's beloved. We love her. Not taking that away from her. Hannah Brown being on this season of Paradise doesn't mean Hannah Brown's season of The Bachelorette's coming back. And I think the men in suits think, oh, Hannah Brown's going to be back on our screen. We're going to have ratings gold, just like we did when she moved the podium. No. And it's like, well, no, that's not what's going to happen. You're going to have to find that with someone else now. Like, she's a married woman.
Right.
This isn't the person to be doing these things, in my opinion.
100%.
And clearly in their opinion, because I think if they thought she could do it, they would show her more.
Yeah, I wonder what went down there, or like if there was initially a different plan for her and it just wasn't executed well, or if they were just realizing, oh, there's actually a lot of drama organically happening, so maybe she is having more conversations with people, but they cut that because they don't like need it. I don't know. I guess we'll never ever know.
I think we may know next summer if and when Paradise comes back. If she doesn't come back, that'll be all the answers we need, I think.
Yeah. Maybe.
So, like we said earlier, though, this episode, everyone voted for one man to go home. And then that man cannot give his rose. So then a woman also goes home with him. Basically, we're voting for a couple again. And everyone puts their like giant tokens in the big treasure chest, which I thought was a nice little touch. They conveniently show you who certain people vote for, but not everyone, so you can't do the math in your head and figure out who's actually going home. But I wasn't surprised at all that Kim went home with Faith.
I kind of was. I did think maybe Brian was on the chopping block, as when he didn't go home. I literally was like, Brian, yes, justice is served. Final rose, woo! So
Jackie's notes
I do
are
think
like
Brian didn't deserve
her thoughts. Like, she doesn't
my
write
internal
notes.
conscience, or my stream of consciousness. I was worried though, because didn't you think that maybe like Kim and Keith would split the vote, in which case then Brian would get more votes?
I don't know.
But luckily that didn't happen. But I was a wee bit concerned about that at one point in time, and I don't really like that everyone is kind of coming for Keith and Kathy because they don't seem to have a romantic relationship.
Like, half of you guys don't either. Like, Alex and Andrew.
One,
like, come on.
And two, I actually really liked what Kathy said.
So did
and I think
I.
maybe like they're not really understanding the relationship that Keith and Kathy have, because Kathy was like, look, it's not going to be the same as two people who are young and like building their lives together. But like what we have is like a different kind of love, and it's like companionship where we can just share our individual lives that we've already built with one another. And I think that's maybe a different kind of like companion love that's not as like hot and heavy, but that doesn't mean that they're not deserving of like having a partner, even if it like looks a little bit different. I think so. I don't know if they're actually as platonic as all the younger people are saying. They're just like, oh yeah, they're platonic. But I think there's maybe like a different in between love that they can't understand because they're just not at that age with Kathy and Keith.
Agreed.
I think it's nice.
It's also frustrating because there's so many couples of the younger cast who are doing who are also platonic, like Jonathan and Leia and Alex and Andrew. I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
Sean and Allyshia. Like, there's no chemistry.
I mean,
there.
Allyshia literally said it was she may have grown feelings for him later, but like she said it was fully a strategic move teaming up with him. Like, why are we all pretending? It pisses me off.
I know. I'm kind of disappointed that they're like so gung-ho on getting the Goldens out, because I liked the dynamic, and now we only have one golden couple left and it's all youngins. That's annoying.
Really frustrating. And now I feel like Kathy and Keith are going to go next week.
Keith are going to be next.
Yeah.
Which is not fair. I do think, though, I do have a faith in Kathy. Like, I think she is a game player and she came to win, that I could see her and Keith maybe outsmarting them for a while. I don't know if it'll last forever because she's just so outnumbered, but I hope she gives them like a good run.
I mean, I hope so too, but she's going to have to win a challenge though in order to stay safe. Yeah. And then send Jonathan home. I'm sorry. I like Leia, but seriously, like, Jonathan, you can go.
Get him out of there.
Even though he wins the freaking secret rendezvous without having any romantic connection with the person
that he literally has said I don't even like see a romantic connection with. That is kind of crazy.
It is.
But goes back to like they do have a huge advantage, I think, being friends.
Yeah.
That they could win this in a lot of ways.
Right. I also
So,
wonder
we'll
how
see.
many couples are going to fake it for the show, given that there's so much money on the line now. Like, oh, are
Mhm.
the perfect couple wins? I'm going to be the perfect couple. It almost like
Yeah.
forces you to be a little like turn it on more for the cameras.
Yeah, I think that will be interesting to see down the line. And I think it will also be interesting to see once people start turning and strategically trying to get out now the good couples. Because right now they still have been, for the most part, pretty true on like, whoever has like not as strong a connection, we should vote for those people, whatever. But it's obviously going to turn. They kind of alluded to that in the promo. And I think that will be interesting to watch. And I think it'll be interesting to watch other people. Because then it's like, do you want to show you're like such a strong couple? Or do you want to show that you're like a weaker couple? It's almost kind of like traders in that sense, where it's like you kind of want to go with the group. And if you are like so strong in knowing someone's a traitor, you don't want to be too vocal about it because then
Right.
the traitor will kill you. So you kind of have to like ride that middle line. And I think that will be interesting to watch.
Agreed. Yeah, next week we find out they have to vote for 2 women to go home. Someone says they want to get rid of the strongest couple. Allyshia calls Kat a joke of a human being, and Brian says that he's going to punch Sean. So
Ay, ay, ay.
excited to see how that all unfolds. So that's all we have for episode 7. I thought it was a really good episode, and I'm here for what's to come. I like where this is going.
Me too.
I just wish more people were
Same.
watching.
I know. I wish more people knew about it. I was at the beach with my friends today trying to convince them that I'm like, guys, I promise it really is getting good. And they were just like, well, the first episode was 3 hours.
Right.
So
You just have
sorry.
to get through about 12 hours of boring content
Right.
first, and then it gets
then
really
I
good.
promise.
I mean, they could just watch our recaps to catch up and
Sure.
then get into like the current episode.
I know. I just think it's hard to jump in because you're not as like emotionally invested in the couples, especially if you haven't watched the past few seasons of Bachelor and Bachelorette. But
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for sticking around with us. I'm Stefanie, and that's Jackie. Is that it, Jackie?
I think that's it.
All right. Good night, everyone. Woo! Oh my God, I'm freaking sweating.
I know. I kind of am too. And I'm always so glowy with these.
I'm
lights. I
so
don't like it.
hot with these lights. My God. All right.